California Proposition 65. Now, it's not really about what substances are present in something. It's about the exposure to substances. So it's not about warning someone that, say, lead is present here, but rather, hey, there's some lead in here and you might be exposed to unsafe levels of that lead. So anytime anyone in California is at risk of being exposed to one of these substances in some kind of unsafe level or unsafe manner, they're required to be provided a clear and reasonable warning before the exposure happens. So you can't tell them afterwards, by the way, you were exposed to this terrible thing. You have to tell them beforehand. Right? Now, keep in mind too, that this isn't just something that applies to products or certain kinds of products. It just applies to exposure in general. So it could be consumers that were exposed to chemicals in products, but it could also be someone who was exposed at the workplace, for example, a factory, right? Or it could be someone who is exposed during the transportation or handling of products, someone transporting chemicals from one place to another. It could be renters exposed in an apartment complex. For example, there have been actions brought in the past because of asbestos exposures in apartment buildings. It could be business exposure during business activity. That, for example, there was a case one time that was brought because someone held a concert and they had a smoke machine there and they didn't warn the population ahead of time that there was chemicals in the smoke that could cause cancer. And so they were held accountable for that. So this is not just a product requirement, but it's a far-reaching, overreaching requirement that applies to everything that happens in California. And that's why when you go to places like Disneyland in Orange County, California, you'll see Proposition 65 signs everywhere throughout the park telling you this ride might cause cancer. This ride may have chemicals that could cause reproductive harm. It's everywhere throughout the park. And that's why, because they have the same obligation to warn you about exposure as product producers do.
Learn more by viewing the full-length video online at greensoft.com/videos. Plus, learn about our environmental regulation solutions online at greensofttech.com.